go. Set them in there and just, I just do like 2 turns or 3 turns or something, just so that you know they're lined up, just to get them in there. And then we'll go over to the other side, because now we're going to start working on both sides. While we're doing one thing on one side, I want to do it on the other side at the same time. So these 2 right here and this one, I just sit here and just run them all the way down by hand. These oil rail bolts will go in, they should go in very free by hand all the way. And before I go tightening any of these other bolts up, I want to make sure that these are all the way down and seated. That way when I hit it with a special tool, I don't have to do a whole bunch of ratcheting. Because right now everything is free, relaxed, nothing's tight. And most of the time they pop on good enough that these 2 bolts, you see them, they're all the way in. They're all the way in now. They're seated all the way at the bottom. So now we'll grab the 8 Milwaukee, and I do not torque these, okay? You guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't even remember, I think it's 110 inch-pounds, about 10 foot-pounds, and you just feel it right here, and you can feel the space, and you can feel it as it goes down. That way I don't have to see it. And then I know I'm getting down to close, and then I'll go over to the next one. Put your hand down there. All I'm doing is closing the gap. I really don't even want it to hit. I just want them to be down, because there is a torque sequence for this. I don't really go by the torque sequence, but there is one. I always try to tighten it up in the middle first, just about 10 foot-pounds, just like that. Hit it till it hits and just give it a little bit. I know I need to do this one. There, and then I'll work my way to the outside. I'll show this one because this is the passenger side. Everybody, I mean, this is always the hard one that they say. So, it's about 10 foot-pounds. I'm just going around and double checking them again. If you got to feel where 10 foot-pounds is, and if you don't know, then get a torque wrench. Okay, 10. Now special tool.
Under you.
Now, remember I hand threaded those 2 in all the way as far as I can before anything else was tight. Now we reap the benefits from it. Right there, boom, done. This one, same thing. A little bit more, done. Right there, 10 foot-pounds. You want to check it? I'm not gonna. So, same thing on the other side. We'll tighten this side up and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so we'll put a little oil inside of this and on there, and then the O-rings inside of there. Throw a little oil all over everything. Get this set on it, which it'll probably go in, but I always like to just set it right there. And then this is the hard one. I say hard because it's hard to tell if it clips on. Let's see. Oh yeah, I heard that one click. Okay. Sometimes you can't hear them very well if they click on. And you want to kind of make sure that it clicks on. I'm all right grabbing it and shaking it a little bit. Just seeing if you can get it to come off, and then last ditch effort is to push it back on a little bit. Right there. These are, I mean, they had this area of the plumbing kind of figured out for 03. I mean, we never have, hardly ever have issues. We have them breaking. We have some stuff happen, but we hardly ever have issues. Now we'll do the same thing over here. Damn it. All right. Now, click this one. Oh, man, they both clicked on good.
I thought I heard it.
Look at that, though. That's all bent down. I probably should have bent that up. It's not really going to affect anything, but just me being picky. You could turn it around that way so you can't see it. Turn it around sideways so you can't tell it's there. It must have been from... All right. Okay, there you go. That's oil rails on, injectors in. Now I take a little bit of oil, put a little on my hand, and then I rub the surface with clean oil. Touch it. Now I know a lot of people might not feel this way, but I like to put this gasket on with it not being bone dry. I like to rub oil around the mating surface Do the same thing over here. I just put a little in my hand and then just touch it. Remember, I'm wiping all of it now because I've already went around and brake cleaned it. Right now it's all clean and all I'm doing is rubbing clean oil around it, so it's got a little residue of oil. Now we have to decide if the valve covers are dry enough. This is where all the time comes in. I hope that they're dry. Actually, we might take a quick break. Just because I only showed this, his probably was arguably not bad enough to go ahead and paint, but I wanted to show you guys on this video that you can paint, and it's not very hard. It's pretty quick and you can have it. If this is your truck, then you probably won't mind waiting a couple more hours. I'm gonna go ahead and wait because if you do it too early and you bolt this down, then the gasket will indent into the paint, and we don't want that. I'd rather have it be cured. So, I mean, honestly, we're gonna call this right now. It's Sunday, so we've got injectors in. The only thing left is valve covers. I still have quite a bit of things that I'd like to show about putting it back together. I mean, we have pretty specific things for almost all of this, like even how you put the cat clamps on. But honestly, I think, no, I can't stop. We got to go ahead and show them all of it. What do you think? Have we showed them enough? Or do we need to go ahead and finish out and show them, tighten the valve cover? And it's 10 foot-pounds too. Don't tighten that too much. You better feel it. And gear wrench on those, and that one back there on the back. Route the 03 wire underneath it, underneath the bracket for the glow plug. Cac tubes, alternator. Say bye-bye. No, we'll take a break. I'm not gonna end it. We'll show you. I just basically gave you a rundown, and then you're gonna watch what I just told you we're gonna do. That's ridiculous. So it's been, well, it's Monday morning. I peeled the tape off of here. We did go ahead and paint them. You can see the rust right there. I mean, we didn't go all the way completely perfect, but at least it's covered. The mating surface has all been done, and it's been curing for about 30 hours, probably. So we're gonna call that good enough. In a perfect world, it would be a first bay job, and these would sit for a week, right? So I take a little bit of oil and squirt it right in the top right there. Okay, rub your hand on it, and then I rub my hand around this, just to get it wet. Just make sure you rub all the way around it. There you go. Now watch the mating surface. Let's not scratch it right before we even put it on. Okay, how about the other one? Okay, same thing. One can. Now I know what Brad said, that Detroit or somebody says they want all gaskets dry. I have not found that oiling this. Obviously, I think it helps. Let me show you this. I never do it. Like, never, ever. There's that gap in the valve cover bolt. See that indentation? That ideally is supposed to pop through the valve cover bolt. Don't even mess with that. Just shake the valve cover and the valve cover gasket around. Let me put it on carefully. Shake the valve cover and the gasket around a little bit, and they will line up. I mean, we always want to make sure that they get lined up. They're a little greasy. I got oil on my hands. This long, I think the long one goes here, I'm pretty sure. The 03, it's been a minute since I've actually done an 03, but we'll try to go off memory. Here's my thought on, normally they are long valve cover studs on the oil dipstick, but on the 03, it doesn't have the big push pin for the main engine harness. Some of them have a push pin on the main engine harness that goes over it. If you have a push pin, then put this as a long stud. Oh, you can't really see it, can you? Okay, that's good, but put that as a long stud. You'll just play them around. If you put one in, there's nothing saying that you can't move it around and move the stud and the bolt, and once you figure out where they all go. But the biggest thing is right here to feel it and get the threads to line up, right? Feel it, kind of wiggle it around, just use your hands. Huh? Let's put this right here. Maybe this will be good. I found to just wiggle them around. I always try to put a bolt up here on top because that's where the harness goes down. I've seen a lot of, look, that one. I cut that one off on the last job, I bet. We probably had wrong ones on. This truck did have this side in too. And we'll put a long stud at the top, back. You see how I'm moving that? Just wiggle it around a little bit. That will keep that bottom ferrule from getting bound up. You don't want to bind it up when it passes through the valve cover gasket. So shake it around, do a couple of turns, shake it around. If you got 3 hands, you can shake it around and do a couple turns all at the same time, but I haven't been blessed with that. When this is the only one, you got a gear wrench on this side. Gear wrench, 12 Milwaukee. On this back one, I'm gonna hit it just a little bit because I didn't feel like I got it started too much. So you can just feel it and actually feel it when it turns. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna run them. I got that one started, but all I really wanna do is make the threads work a little bit. Look. Run it down and I'm just gonna watch it. That one's at 11 actually. I just wanna run them down a little to make sure that the thread's engaged. That's all I care about, is that the thread's engaged good. So now's the time when you pay attention. Do a couple of turns on each one, and then we can go back, and there's really not a torque sequence, but I go ahead and start in the middle and work the way around. See how I'm wiggling it? I just want a couple of threads in it. So. Okay, now shake it around. It should still be free, and really everything is lined up, so we can go with Tighten. Now this is 100. Give me a 1-inch extension. I really don't want to scratch it. I don't know how I forgot this one.
Where? Here.
Okay. All right, spin this one on. Okay, there you go. Now we'll go and we'll tighten them up. Now, see how that stopped? You got it. This is not a time when you change your battery. Okay? You need to be using the same tool with the same battery, even if it's almost dead. That's 10 foot-pounds. Now I think it might be 116 or something like that. You got an 11? Come on, girl. That figures. You know, it's almost every time that it's stripped. Bummer. Let's see if the other side's stripped, because I think we're the only ones that have messed with the other side. We got to helicoil it. Let's see if that 12 in the back is not tightening. We're in freaking trouble. All right, we're gonna go ahead and helicoil that back one. Thank God it's not the very back one, but wonderful. And I'm gonna do it with it enclosed, with it sealed up. We're gonna put the glow plug wire on first. Remember, we did glow plug, so at this point, we'll take a little bit, put your finger on it, and put the oil on your finger, and get the bores wet. Just a little bit so that the glow plug wire, we're not gonna put a new one on. Okay, well, once again, I'm gonna opt to not. You might bang on me. These glow plug wires on this side are ridiculously easy. So we're not gonna waste the resources on putting O-rings on it, because honestly, I feel that if they're gonna leak, they're leaking from where the wire, the element, the wire actually goes through it. They're not leaking from the O-ring connection of it. Shake it around. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Just be careful, you'll feel it pop on. Just kind of wiggle it around so that it will want to line itself up. And these 03, I mean, it just pushes in. All of them really just push in. Okay. Okay. Go all the way around. It's not a contest for how tight you can get it. It's honestly a contest for just right before it strips. Just kidding. About 10 foot-pounds is good. It's golden. That one stripped out one kind of threw me for a loop, but it's all right. We got to have a helicoil on. If you don't do a helicoil on an injector job, you probably didn't do the injector job right. I don't freaking know, because it's got it now. On some of these, I wouldn't mind just putting a wrench on it. And, oh, I never even got that one, did I? Okay, there you go. All right, that's all done. All right, let's go down in here and look at the hole. Look, there's like no threads on it. Let's fix that. Okay, while she's doing that, we'll come over here. She's getting all of the everything ready. Everything ready. Oh, there goes one. Okay, these two need studs, but these two can be short studs. And it's different since it's an 03, because normally, come on, hang on. Had a heck of a time finding it. See, I'm moving the whole valve cover, kind of just, because these should pretty much want to thread in by hand almost all the way. You should be able to spin it a long ways. Long enough that that valve cover gasket gets lined up with the ferrule on the outside of the bolt. So, two short ones here. I put the short ones here. If you're a late model, they're all the same length. It's only really on 03 that has short and long studs. That's it. All the rest of them, the studs are the same length. Just like that. And these, just like the oil rail bolts, thread those as far in as you can get. Okay. Stud and the 03 bracket. Where's that? You gotta cut it. Watch your eyes. That's pretty much. If I don't need, I know I can make that a lot better. Here, you want to make it better? Hope the vice grips are deep enough. Guys, that's good enough. You know what? It's a bolt. Might as well wire brush it off. It's probably a million freaking degrees. Guess we'll get it to paint it. It's not auto body. It's done. Here you go. This is gonna be risky. I hope that you guys can just wing this, because ideally you would take the valve cover off, right? Oh, the drill's not even tight enough. I know you can't see very well. These Healy coils are, if you do it right and you pay attention to it, I mean, honestly, it will follow the hole. So yeah, shot back. Blowgun. I could drill a little bit more, but that is plenty for the Healy coil. See it? I'll go ahead and leave that, because at a point you kind of want to have a bottom, because we'll break off the tip off the Healy coil. I'll show you that. Look at the gasket. That little bit right there, it'll be fine. It'll chew out of the way. We'll make sure it's blown out. Okay, I don't know how you guys like to do Healy coils, but I don't always really entertain the idea of using the tap wrench and all that. I use the drill. You guys ready? Watch this. I put it in and it follows it. Watch, you ready? Oh, if the drill was tight enough. Let's back it out. The drill wasn't tight enough. We got a couple of cuts out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and blow through it just so I have a nice. Like I said, I probably wouldn't have done that if this would have been tight. I probably would have ran it all the way in. But now what we're gonna do is, now when you gotta feel it, you can destroy it. You gotta get it spinning, hope you know your tools. Get it spinning, let it line up, it'll line up, and then it'll dig through. Oh, see the light flash red? Okay, now we'll take it back out. I mean, I've been doing it like this for quite a few years and it works. See how it's shaving? Now remember, I did this with the valve cover on. The crankcase is sealed. Go ahead, a little more. Now I'll try to put it up here. Now I want to feel it when it starts, because this tap will cut the threads and mess up all of the drilling that you did. There you go. I think we're good. One more blowout. Ready, Shavak? Come on, focus. Got that little piece of rubber right there. There's some threads. A little bit, but I'd like to get that piece off of there, because that actually kind of hurt. I'm using the screen now as my inspection. That little piece right there. That get caught in there? I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will. I'll use a drill for all of it. Make sure that's spun over so it's engaged on it. There's a little lock on the bottom of the Healy coil that goes over and it catches it. So we'll make sure that's over. Now it's real easy to get this side. Oh, I'm not gonna have enough room. Oh, yeah, I will. Oh, just barely. See how it did. Okay, let's go down and look at how we did. The bottom is still in there. Wait. Oh, that's junk. Okay, the light won't stay on.